Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to recap the movie Volcano, which was released in 1997, directed by Mick Jackson. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. In the beginning of the movie, we see the busy streets of Los Angeles. In the kitchen, Mike Rourke is cooking eggs for breakfast for him and his daughter, Kelly Rourke. The cooking pan fell to the floor. Mike calls his daughter Kelly to have breakfast, but she insists that she doesn't eat in the morning. They are about to leave the house in order to go on vacation. Kelly is having some attitude problems due to her parents' recent divorce. Mike loves his daughter so much, and he would do anything for her, unless it's work, as Mike is a hard-working man and passionate about his work. On the following day, an earthquake strikes Los Angeles. It has a short duration, but is impactful. So, Mike left the house to go to work by canceling the vacation plan. When Mike comes to the office, his co-worker Emmy Reese informs him that no such serious damage is caused by an earthquake. That's why he can go on vacation with his daughter Kelly as planned. Mike Rourke, the head of the city's Office of Emergency Management, insists on working to help out with the crisis, even though he has taken a vacation with his daughter Kelly. The first people to experience the earthquake were the doctors at the Cedars-Sinai Hospital. Dr. J. Calder was currently operating on a patient when the earthquake happened. She manages to keep the patient alive by holding onto the life support plug. In the park, some construction workers are working and, at the same time, betting on the magnitude of the earthquake. Soon after, they hear a noise and are shocked to see some strange gas coming out of the tunnel. So they rushed out to help their co-worker and discovered that half of his body was burned. 7 utility workers are subsequently burned to death in a storm drain. One escapes and survives, but is severely scorched on one side of his face at MacArthur Park. Mike went to the scene after hearing the report. Mike attempts to suspend the subway lines that run parallel to where the killings occurred, but Los Angeles MTA chairman Stan Olber declines, believing the trains are not in danger. Stan Olber is so proud of his project that he even dismisses the pleas of the people to stop the railway construction. People are rallying against the railway project because it would force them to take a longer route. People are advised to take the train instead, at intervals of 15 minutes. An old man argues with Mike until the media arrives to cover the recent tragedy. The lifeless body is then brought to medical forensics to be examined. The medical examiners aren't wearing masks. Dr. J. Calder is shocked to smell something strange in the burnt body and discovers that it is not steam or gas. The scene shifts to Emmett Reese, who tries to convince him to leave this case as something related to the gas leak is not their work, but Mike doesn't change his mind and sticks with his decision. Mike is left with an uneasy feeling about the situation, but is unable to take action since the subway lines are a bigger project. Against the rules, Mike and his colleague, Gator Harris, inspect the storm sewer in the park. They wander for a few minutes and start to feel that something is creeping underground. They notice that the air is becoming hotter and that it is harder to breathe because of the hot fumes. Their rubber gloves are melting and their suits are drenched with sweat. When scorching gases suddenly pour out of a fracture in the concrete lining and flood the tunnel, they are nearly burned alive and barely escape with their lives. After coming out and collecting the evidence, Mike orders Emmett Reese to shut down the park. Later, Stan Olber brings Dr. Amy Barnes, a geologist, who says the whole city is geologically unstable and they should not blow up tunnels under it. Mike brings Dr. Amy Barnes to the park, and she uses some machines to run a few studies. Dr. Amy Barnes reaches a conclusion that sounds a bit crazy. She believes a volcano is fast growing beneath the city, with lava streaming underground. Unfortunately, it is still a theory, and she lacks the evidence to convince Mike, who finds the idea of lava in LA ridiculous. Meanwhile, nobody notices that the statue in the park fountain is slowly sinking. Dr. Amy Barnes and her assistant, Rachel, inspect the accident scene in the storm drain, where they locate a fracture in the ground that released the gases earlier. The two women wander the underground tunnels, hoping that they will eventually figure out what's happening. A stronger earthquake strikes as they are taking samples, and Rachel dies when she falls into a fissure. This one is stronger than before and cuts down on power in the whole city. At home, Mike rushes out of bed to find his daughter and takes her to a safe spot. Underground, the night train driver tries to stop the vehicle, but it still crashes against falling debris. Dr. Amy Barnes tries to save her, but the smoke is getting stronger and the tunnel is becoming hotter. Rachel falls into the cracks, leaving Dr. Amy Barnes with one piece of the glove. When she comes out of the tunnel, she notices the fountain water is boiling. Little by little, generators are turned on in the most important buildings in town. Mike leaves home and brings Kelly Rourke with him, thinking he can keep her safe at the office. Meanwhile, huge steam geysers begin coming out of every manhole on the streets. Cars stop to wait, but it only keeps getting worse, and now there is smoke and rocks falling all over the place. Mike watches a huge smoke curtain in shock before the little rocks are replaced by actual lava bombs, which begin causing fires whenever they land. Some houses explode, and buildings and other structures like traffic lights get destroyed, as the falling debris causes accidents for the citizens that try to drive away in panic. Mike assists injured firefighters in leaving the area. A freshly created volcano erupts from the tar pits minutes later, and lava begins to flow freely down Wilshire Boulevard, incinerating everything in its path, including Mike's vehicle and an LAFD fire truck, killing 2 firefighters trapped inside. The opening of the newly formed volcano spits out hot lava and comet-like burning rocks. Buildings collapse, and the once smooth asphalt roads break like a teenager's face who's having acne breakouts. Steam is emitted from the sewer system. A subway train carrying people derails underground, trapping them inside and exposing them to extreme heat and fumes, which causes all of the people to pass out. Mike brings his daughter Kelly into the danger zone, saying that he needs to help out the others. Mike asks his daughter Kelly to stay inside the car while he helps injured firefighters. Moments later, Kelly sees the lava slowly flowing out from the pits of the underground volcano. She panics and calls her dad. Mike and Kelly are separated when Kelly is injured by a nearby lava explosion. Mike finds his daughter and carries her like a little girl. They go up their truck as they are surrounded by lava. The only way out is to jump, and Mike did it. Mike meets Dr. Jay Calder and asks her to bring his daughter to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Kelly pleads with her father to come with him, but Mike stays in the danger zone to save others. Meanwhile, Stan Olber leads his squad to the crashed train through the Red Line tunnel in search of survivors. Everyone is saved, but Stan Olber notices that the train driver is still missing and returns to find him. Stan Olber discovers the driver, who is still alive but unconscious. Just as the lava reaches and begins to melt the train, Stan Olber gives his life to save the conductor by jumping into the lava flow and flinging him to safety as he dies. Stan Olber started out as a douche, but he eventually has a paradigm shift and becomes a hero. Mike, Dr. Amy Barnes, and police officer Ed Fox create a plan to erect concrete barricades at the intersection of Wilshire Boulevard and Fairfax Avenue, forming a cul-de-sac in which to pool the lava, while helicopters spray water on it to produce a crust. Everyone rejoices and believes that the volcano has stopped erupting. Dr. Amy Barnes calls Mike and tells him that it isn't over yet. She compares the recent events with Mount Helen's eruption. While the procedure is successful, Dr. Amy Barnes subsequently theorizes that lava is still moving underground through the Red Line subway extension, and calculates that the main eruption will occur at the end of the line, near Cedars-Sinai, at the Beverly Center. The center begins to break because of the strong earthquakes. People are panicking, and a freaky stampede is about to happen if people don't calm down. Burning rocks are falling, and people are getting hurt. Even patients on hospital beds fall down. To demonstrate this, Dr. Amy Barnes and Mike lowered a video camera into the tunnel to observe it, only to have it incinerated by a fast-moving flow of lava. But while doing this, the two get cozy with each other and probably start to develop feelings for each other. They analyze the pace and discover that the lava will reach the end of the Red Line in 30 minutes. Explosives are employed under Mike's command to make channels in the street to divert the flow of lava into Ballona Creek, which would eventually flow into the Pacific Ocean. But Dr. Amy Barnes notices that the roadway is sloping in the opposite direction. He devises another plan to demolish a 22-story condominium building in order to prevent the lava from entering the city. The team is running all over the place because they only have 20 minutes to get it all ready. Gator Harris and his men are placing bombs inside the center. But at that moment, earthquakes begin hitting the area again. The huge eruption happens sooner than expected and destroys the street, causing everyone to run away in panic. Inside the center, one of the workers gets trapped under a core column that the earthquake destroyed, and Gator Harris isn't strong enough to push it away. The lava is coming closer. Gator Harris refuses to abandon the mission and chooses to sacrifice in order to detonate the final explosion. Just as the lava reaches the dead end of the subway tunnel extension, it explodes out of the ground in a massive geyser. Mike then notices Kelly nearby, attempting to locate a tiny boy who has strayed off, putting them in the path of the collapsing building. Mike runs as fast as he can. Mike manages to elude the explosions and reach his daughter. He just about saves both of them from being crushed when the building collapses. Dr. Amy Barnes sees the whole father-daughter scenario from afar. It worked. As the lava flowed safely into the ocean, the people rejoice once again, but not Emmett Reese. Emmett is more of the pessimistic type. Dr. Amy Barnes looks for Mike in the debris. Mike emerges from the debris with Kelly and the tiny child still alive. The lava flows against the concrete walls of Los Angeles. The lava flows into the ocean, and the people rejoice again. Nearly 100 people have died, and others have been injured. Rain begins to fall, washing away the ash and dust from the surviving people. Dr. Amy Barnes admits that if she were in charge, she would have sacrificed half the city. She thanks Mike for his efforts. Mike also notices that his dog also survived this chaos. Emmett Reese arrives there and talks about a new emergency with Mike, but he turns it down by saying that he is going on vacation with his daughter, Kelly. That's the end of this recap. Thanks for watching and staying till the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.